few maps right now that we're currently seeing Kerrigan have fairly high priority placed upon her.
Hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see if we see her get banned or possibly picked very early on. Of course, right now, high priority is being placed on the main tank, specifically ETC and Muradin.
Yeah.
Especially after the recent patch, Muradin has a damage build on his level 7 Skull Crusher talent that has made him particularly strong as well. So expect those to get snagged up very quickly. Since Kerrigan is being banned, that means either Samuro or Malf will be open as well, both considered very strong still.
Yeah, I think R2 could probably ban the one they don't want to play here, or if they have a preference, because they're gonna have Vala, so there's a lot left on the table now for Brawls Deep, and they're gonna have to make the choice
Do you
as
want
to
the
what they want to
Samuro? Do
pick.
you want the Malf? Do you want to grab one of those main tanks?
I don't know
Samuro
if you
seems
need
very
to.
strong on
I would
this.
I would probably not pick a tank here because you're gonna have another chance to grab a tank. If you, unless you really want a specific one, you
Sure.
have the opportunity to pick up the other one in your next set of picks. So
Mm-hmm.
I would probably not do it unless there's a very strong preference. But yeah, I mean, Samuro or Malf would be really good in this position. They are going to go into their time a little bit here as we think about it.
Yeah, I particularly like Samuro on this map just because there are so many merc camps. And
Yeah.
he's an extremely
Ooh.
strong mercer. So they're going to grab Tychus right off the bat. Tychus, overall, a very strong DPS right now. He's been quite popular, not just because he's fairly well rounded, but because he counters the double warrior comps that have been really showing up a lot lately.
It's a really interesting pick for them because Tychus is not like a silver bullet against multi tank comps, but he does make you kind of think twice about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's an interesting pick. They're going to go with the ETC for R2. So that's going to leave Muradin open for Brawls Deep if they want it. I expect that they will take that as one of their two picks here. But so many options for R2 with that Tychus pick. They could go into the Malf right away. Malf and ETC is really, really scary, actually.
Yes, very, very strong. I love the ET6 off the
Ooh.
bat, and it's going to be Sylvanas. So, no Malf or Samuro grabbed up yet.
Yeah, so I actually am not now that I see that Sylvanas pick for R2, I don't think it's absolutely required that they take Muradin because if they're okay with playing Johanna, they can guarantee themselves up. They will go with the Muradin here, and
Well, the Muradin, you just have more guaranteed damage than Johanna. I mean,
it
that's
feel
that's really the strong point of both him and ETC over Johanna right now.
I guess it felt a bit greedy to take Samuro and then Malfurion and then just take the Johanna, but the Tychus pick kind of messed the whole order up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but so
So they
yeah,
are going to grab Malf. It'll be interesting to see if Samuro makes it through the second ban stages. So Alarak is going to go ahead and get taken off the table. And then Vikings.
ooh, so they've seen something. They
Yeah, they
must have
must have
watched
seen
it.
something.
Vikings actually was sort of a thing on this map for a while, and
Well, the
I
shrine fights can sometimes drag
yeah
out so long that Vikings can be extremely strong with their triple lane soaking.
yeah yeah
Or
it's
that
definitely.
forces you off the point and to give the objective to the other team just to not lose the soak.
I think the other thing too is there is the possibility for R2 to pick up a bit more poke, so like to try and prolong those fights around the shrine a little bit. So I like the Vikings pick ban. I mean, especially if you've seen it, if you
Mm-hmm.
know that this is something they're capable of, which it sounds like they do know,
Yeah.
based on that ban. That would be a very random ban unless they know it's a possibility.
So it looks like R2 is pretty much out of time.
Yeah, they're running right to the end of their time here.
See what it ends up being.
They have two back to back picks, so they might already have something in mind. And okay, so it is going to be Greymane. Could I hesitate to say it, but it almost feels like maybe we could see an Abathur. I don't know. I could see it with the Greymane, honestly, and the split soaking.
It's possible, and Greymane is an excellent clone target.
Yeah, I don't know. You kind of leave yourself low on poke if you do that, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about that. But the options here for R2 are pick your support now and hide your last pick, or, okay, and
Which
they are
is
going to
exactly
do
what
that,
they're doing, yeah. And I think that's a great way for them to go about it, because it always leaves the option open for counter pick. And that's really what you want to be able to do. Right now, Brawls Deep basically has a nice core. They can really supplement this with whatever they want. Zagara could be a decent supplement to this. There's no mages at all
I was gonna say.
taken. There's no mages banned. Kalthos, Jaina, Li Ming, Gul'dan, all completely open right now, and all, especially Gul'dan, Kalthos, and Li Ming, and I mean all of them really are very viable on this map.
Okay, so that was probably why we saw the Tychus pick, is because they were planning to go to Warrior.
Tank. Mm-hmm.
And I expect with Vala off the table, it's oh wow, Zool. Okay, so this is all about locking down one person, really.
Yep. It's an extremely melee heavy comp, but I mean, look at that front line to protect that Tychus and that mouth, really.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have a time getting past that. And there's really nobody on R2 besides ETC who can really dive in there without getting completely locked down or blown up. Because as a Greymane, I don't want to be diving into that.
Not only that, but look at all the anti-auto attack synergy picked up immediately by Brawl Deep. Arthas can take that talent for Frozen Tempest. Zool with Curse Strikes, and they're gonna go double support.
This is a lot. This is a
lobby.
I think were wanting Lunara.
Apparently, it was supposed to be Lunara. Not really sure. Okay.
Okay, they're good with it.
Yeah, they're good with it. Okay, so that's gonna be Lunara.
Okay, that makes a little more sense to me.
I was gonna say that's like no damage.
That was putting a lot of hope on that Greymane, to be completely honest.
Yep. Yeah, that was and a Greymane that's gonna get locked down. He's gonna eat a ton of CC.
The roots are pretty scary, to be completely honest.
Honestly, even the Lunara is kind of in a scary spot if she gets hit by anything. And she is faster. She's better at getting away from that stuff. But if she does get hit, it's probably lights. It's going to be Crystal Aegis forced out if she gets hit by any CC after 10.
And interestingly, like I said, Samuro didn't get picked up at all.
Yeah.
Which baffles me a little bit. But it's possible that there's no comfortable pick, but I just feel like he's extremely good on this map.
Yeah, I mean, maybe do you think the changes were that bad?
No. I mean, his win rate's still sitting, I believe, in the mid-50s. I could be wrong. I'm double-checking. He is still at 57% win rate.
He is definitely a pretty unique hero. Mm-hmm. I would say. And the other thing,
it's come down from his 60-something% win rate, but it's still quite high.
Was there any threat of a blind coming up? I guess not really. That's what I'm thinking. If you're Brawls Deep, maybe that's you stay away from it for that reason, because you're afraid that you're going to get a blind. But they're not really. There really isn't one that fits well. I mean, I guess you could have gone Lili. Don't. Oh man. I just heard Haloran's voice in my head, being like, you can always go Lili. No. But I don't think there's really any good way to add a blind to that comp. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's just a comfort thing, but I also think Zool does bring a substantial amount of lockdown and anti-melee, or anti-auto attack synergy. Honestly, if Zool could even get attacks against Lunara, it's quite good. So... I like this. I like this from Brawls Deep. Take the Tychus off the table and go pretty heavy melee, but we need to see some execution. We gotta see some serious crowd control chains.
Sure.
Getting some kills for them here.
If I feel like Brawls Deep comp has this if they execute the lockdown right, because I don't feel like R2's comp will be able to get through that front line enough to actually to get to that mouth, to get to that Tychus, unless they're incredibly out of position. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so over on the side of Brawls Deep, we have FZ Ignition on Zool, the next slash on Murden, Specialty on Tychus, Crunk Juice on Arthas, and Tiger on Malfurion.
On the side of Team R2, we got Tips and Tricks playing Oriel. We have the Silent Stereophonic playing ETC. We've got Lightsy on Greymane, the Turk playing Sylvanas, and Saber on Lunara.
All right.
Stereophonic getting a bit verbal. I don't know. Sorry, my apologies. That was bad.
Well, we got the nice big 5-person brawl in the middle here. ETC going to go ahead and take some damage. A nice zoning and roots, but look at all the damage being pumped out onto Brawls Deep.
Yeah, that's a lot of poke, and they have to, especially early, they really have to respect that. So that's kind of a worrying first little fight. They weren't able to fully engage because of the wall, but yeah, that was so much damage spread out over Brawls Deep there.
Arthas and Sylvanas appear to be rotating to the top lane. Zool and Lunara will fight over the bottom, and we probably will see some sort of Graven rotation, but we have a nice detainment strike into Specialty. 71 health. Next slash, forced Dwarf Toss out, and Brawls Deep just getting so punished early on by this R2 comp.
I have to hand it to Tiger, though, some really good roots there to allow his team to get away. And he was ready to body block. He was ready to do it. So, well, yeah, actually in the top, Stereophonic looking for something. He's in now. Gonna try and isolate Crunk Juice. It gets the root. He still has Power Slide, though. He will do that. A lot of damage. And wow, great detainment strike.
Yeah,
that
Tips and
is
Tricks
a solid pick.
landing those really well already. And we're only a minute and a half into this game. That's when you've got an Ariel that can land those well. That's pretty rough news for your team.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like a respect my authority moment for him because he's already landed a couple, as you've said, and they've been pretty good. So definitely need to be careful when that Oriel's around because it can result in some serious displacement as well as CC. So
would you say he's telling Brawls Deep to get whipped?
Oh man. Oh my. Oh, as we say that, we do have the top shrine spawn. It is an arcane Punisher. It is the first Punisher, so
yeah.
it's not going to be like incredible or anything. But
this
both
is
sides
widely
pretty
considered
even.
the strongest one, though.
Yeah, for sure. And both sides pretty even for the moment. Zool is still soaking bottom. He is now rotating up as the fight starts here.
Brawls Deep gonna have to be really careful here. Stereophonic with a nice power slide through, but the roots landing perfectly. Stereophonic just barely getting out with a little over 300 health. Lightsy taking a lot of damage from Crunk, but he is up by himself and he is going to fall very quickly. Unfortunately, it was a 5v4 for far too long, and it looks like Zool is just going to rotate back down as the rest of Brawls Deep just tries to poke what they can.
Yeah, and next slash.
Get aggressive.
Yeah, he's doing a good job here. I'm a little bit interested to see what happens. Okay, Zool's just going to rotate between mid and bot this whole time. He's going to clear the wave and then just go over.
Which is good. I mean, look at the XP. We can already see some of the results of that, even with the 2 kills on the side of R2.
And bottom towers are completely out of shot, so are middle now. So yeah, he's got room to push. Now, how much can R2 really get with this Arcane Punisher? He will John Cena in. Next slash really not even minorly inconvenienced by that. And yeah, it looks like they should be able to clean this up, only lose the front wall, assuming nothing insane happens.
Remember, we do have Sylvanas on the side of R2, shutting these towers, shutting this fort down. This is incredibly strong to push with the Punisher. Arthas does end up going down, and it looks like R2 will be able to pick up this fort, and that is the power of Sylvanas on this map, pushing with the objective.
Seemed like maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there because Crunk was way ahead of his team. The rest of the team had completely backed off. And as a result, he gets picked off. And that, yeah, like you said, with the Sylvanas, that is going to be an easy fort. So already for Brawls Deep now, playing from behind a little bit, at least in terms of structures. They aren't that far behind on XP, and they now are on the same talent tier.
Yeah, FZ Ignition down the bottom doing a really good job with his rotations to keep his team in, but his team pinging him back. They know that everybody's rotating down, no one's on the map. The detainment strike ended up missing, and that will probably save FC Ignition's life.
Yeah, it's actually funny because FC Ignition dismounted himself to attack the Wisp. But actually, no, we've got a Bone Prison here. Great roots coming in. Lightsy getting absolutely locked down. He will escape with his life. Just no! No, he does fall, and it looked like so close, but that is the crowd control we can expect to see in these future fights, TBK. The insane crowd control chains coming up from Brawls Deep.
Yeah, Bone Prison gives you perfect opportunity to line up those roots exactly as you need. You've got your Stormbolt from Muradin. You've got Tychus Grenade for repositioning. Arthas, you've got Howling Blast. There's just so much lockdown. If they catch somebody out of position, that person on R2 is dead.
Yeah, and it looked like they might get away there. Lightsy might make an escape, but he did not. And a near narrow escape is probably going to turn into absolute destruction as we see that crowd control chain into the later game, especially after we get some of these heroics.
And you got to give a lot of credit to FZ Ignition. His rotations have kept them in this game, even being a fort and 2 kills down. They are now leading on XP again.
Yeah, and they're now in a great position to definitely contest a shrine. I'm not sure what the call will be if everybody will immediately go. We do have Arthas hearthing back to base, so he's going to be a little bit late. The rest of Brawls Deep need to be careful. FC Ignition face checking that bush and just barely getting away.
Alright, Shrine is active on the bottom. Everyone's starting to posture around it. There is a Shaman camp pushing top. Stereophonic forced to power slide back to avoid the Bone Prison. Everyone's kind of clumping up, and this is usually really good for the roots, but there are so many places that Tips and Tricks can actually get his detainment strike off on this map that Brawls Deep really has to be wary of that.
Yeah, not only that, but in really narrow chokes, a Lunara can spread a ton of damage, so they really need to be careful. Detainment Strike will go out, and my goodness, that's just an absolute...
Yeah. And that was Muradin.
Yeah.
Muradin just got blown up. And again, it started with the Detainment Strike. He's just been on point, and Greymane and Lunara are just extremely quick to capitalize on that.
I'm really impressed with Tips and Tricks. Everything I've seen, all the Detainment Strikes I've seen have been really good. He narrowly missed the heal to save Lightsy from the Moonfire in that near narrow escape, but he's been there for his team in each of these fights, so I'm going to keep my eye on him moving forward.
R2 picks up the Mortar Punisher very easily. Most of Brawls Deep had to rotate up to stop that Shaman cap. They ended up picking up their own, but ETC is going to go top to defend that while the rest of the team pushes bottom. Again, Sylvanas shutting those towers down, but it is a 4v3 right now. The Mortar Punisher kind of getting ignored. Aegis does go out as well as the Wailing Arrow, but they are on the retreat.
Oh, Lightsy gets absolutely destroyed. Turk getting out of there. Crunk actually saved a little bit there as his Howling Blast did not connect because of the Crystal Aegis. They still managed to hunt down that kill. Honestly, R2 really lucky to get away with only one death there. That actually got pretty disastrous. But
you really wanted to say R2 G2, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. That's true. So we will see that fight come to an end. Stereophonic just running, and he will get rooted. All right, Crunk Juice finding redemption on that route. Now Tips and Tricks. Tip, don't be that far ahead of your team. And he goes down, unfortunately. So, sorry, I had to do a Tips and Tricks. I'm sorry, your name is just so good for that. So,
unfortunately, Stereophonic tried to power slide out of that engage, and he ended up hitting the small wall. And since he took loudspeakers at 4 instead of Crowd Surfer, that ended up stopping his power slide prematurely, and they were able to finish him off much easier.
Yeah, so... I think Crunk is now starting to hit his stride a little bit on the Arthas for Brawls Deep. There was some shaky moments earlier, a couple moments where he kind of overextended, but that was a big Howling Blast to secure a kill, and he needs to feel good about that. I really think that he's finding his game, and like I said, I think with with what we've seen from him so far, that's a really promising note for Brawls Deep.
Yeah. Brawls Deep doing quite well. They're up about a level of XP. They're up a talent tier right now, despite being structures down and not having gotten a single Punisher yet. Right now, the invade is happening on the bottom, though. Stereophonic trying to get in, but the roots go down, and no one grabs the camp as all of Brawls Deep is now chasing R2.
Oh, big Crystal Age is getting a lot of damage. Now the poke coming in from Lunar. Krunk again ahead of his team. The power slide will not connect with him. He's just trying to get out of there. The Draken laser drill to zone out. Not going to secure any kills, but it's a scary drill, TBK, and nobody wants to come near it for the moment. But no one is going to pick up that camp.
Somebody grab the Khazra camp for the love of all that is good. Guys, we forgot about it. No, hello? Team?
I think
Team?
Saber saw it there because he kind of like dashed, he kind of motioned towards it like, hey guys, but no.
Team?
That would have been a great pickup for either team given that we now have the Shrine active.
Yeah, in the middle. Like, it's not even the same lane. That's some good pushing power right there, but it's just going to sit there while the teams want to fight, Josh.
Well, I can't say that I blame them because there's been fights on both sides so far. Nextslash going to whiff the Stormbolt, so he doesn't have that available for the next few seconds. Ignition trying to see if he can get something, but now Brawls Deep is going to be on the receiving end of a huge mosh pit. The Wailing Arrow coming in also. Nextslash going to get destroyed. And also, already Krunk is down, and TBK, this is a rout now.
Yeah, Stereophonic got extremely close to dying. A nice power slide and Crystal Aegis are going to save him, even though the mosh pit was interrupted a little early. That actually gave them the time they needed to finish off two members, both of them being the tanks. And you can't engage right now if you're Brawls Deep on without either of your tanks. The Punisher, Frozen Punisher, now goes over to R2. And this is going to be their third Punisher of the game as they look to take Brawls Deep's last fort.
Yeah, despite that, it looks like this will probably be their best one yet because they're already in a strong position to take this fort. The Punisher is very healthy. They could, with a pick, push for this wall. And actually, Crunk Juice will get hit by the John Cena. Some good roots by Tiger just to ensure that nobody can really follow up on that. They need to be careful. The Frozen Punisher, if you get rooted next to that wall, TBK, that could be lights out.
Yeah, that's super rough. Punisher about at half health, going to jump on Krunk. Lots of damage going down into Arthas. The Skeletal Mage is forced to be cast, but they are vaporized almost instantly as Brawls Deep is just trying to push this R2 rolling thunder.
Oh.
I don't even know what that is, but they're trying to push it back. Two members die. Zool and Arthas go down. Nextslash pulling back, and I feel like this keep is a goner, Josh.
Yeah, this keep is going to go down, and great job, honestly. Oh, and you know what? They actually want to move for the end here, and there are two down for 20 seconds, so this is quite possible. The Punisher is very, very unhealthy. It's going to go down any moment. Nextslash, though, if he gets caught out here, he is forced to blow Avatar, and now the core is falling. It's already at 60% HP, TBK.
Specialty coming in, Turk getting extremely low, but Lunara will finish him off. And this first game is going to go over to R2 in an incredible push with the Punisher at 12 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that was a quick game. I don't know. What do you think about this draft in hindsight? I don't know if we ever really saw the true power of that huge front line from Brawls Deep.
You know, the thing that is more important to me than that is that no one took the camp at the bottom.
You're going to be fixated on that.
No one took it. I don't know what's going on. I mean, they put so much effort into it. They fought over it. And then and no one took it. Those Khazra are just like, guys,
yeah.
no one wants us. I mean, it feels bad, man. They just wanted to be useful.
The Khazra are like orc peons, ready to work, but there's no work to do because nobody tells them what to do. So, yeah, I don't know. I just, in hindsight, looking at these numbers, obviously numbers don't tell the whole story, and especially in this game, but Tyke is doing by far the most damage on his team.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was not getting killed all the time, whereas we saw Krunk, honestly, on the Arthas, probably, the hardest character to escape with between him and Muradin, probably. But there were some rough moments, and unfortunately, again, was the first to fall in that last team fight under the Punisher, which ended up with R2 taking the whole thing. So
I feel like the Sylvanas pick coming out of R2 was extremely powerful.
yeah,
That extra pushing power, especially since they got every single Punisher, and so they were able to maximize every single one of those Punishers with the Sylvanas pushing, and they got so much more done because of it.
yeah, that's very true. I mean, that first Punisher got a lot of value. Honestly, that last Punisher got a lot more value than it should have because they were able to lock down the fort and just fight under it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
there was no real aggressive push to force R2 off of the like force the Sylvanas back so she
Yeah.
couldn't do that. And as a result of that, like the Punisher got a really good stun on Kronk, and so good job Punisher, I guess. But yeah,
Well done, Punisher.
it was a ton of value for the Sylvanas. Like that's a very good point.
Yeah.
So
Overall, I feel like Brawl's Deep Comp had a lot of promise, but they were never able to execute it enough.
yeah, there were a couple times when we saw the CC chain, but they were mostly early actually, and it felt like, well, they did get the one kill, but it felt like they would have had more. They would have had more success late game. But I want to talk about something else, which is that there was no cleanse picked up on either side, but especially against the CC train. You know what I'm saying? There was like,
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody said no respect in the chat, and that I don't know if that's like strictly speaking true, but they certainly were not afraid of it. They
No.
were not afraid of it.
No, not at all. Well, that was a really impressive showing, actually, by R2. I was very impressed. They played that comp extremely well. They drafted extremely well, and they played around Brawls Deep's like heavy front line, just in placement and really in map objective. They just
Yeah.
really played the map objective super well. All right, so R2 with our first win of the day. Game 2 starting up in just a second. We are going to be on Curse Hollow. This is Brawls Deep's map pick.
And this is a best of 3, right?
This is a best of 3.
So R2 has the defending champion Brawls Deep on the ropes right now. Brawls
Yes.
Deep won Pro Division last season, so they got to figure something out. I don't know if maybe they decide, you know what, it's game 1, let's try this draft. That maybe this is something they've been holding on to, and they thought, you know what, let's give it a shot. And you know what, I think it definitely had potential. It definitely had potential. So maybe we'll see something a little bit more standard from Brawls Deep, or maybe we just go even crazier. Who
I
knows?
hope we see crazy. I like crazy.
We could. And you know,
Crazy's
now
great.
R2 is up a game, and sometimes when you're up a game in a series, you feel comfortable trying something that you might not normally try, especially if you think you can win with it. Because, like we said, the teams on the other side of the semifinal bracket appear to be watching this game. So if you can throw something out there and make sure that the other teams know it's something you can threaten, that's not a bad card to have up your sleeve.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
We've seen that in a few pro tournaments where a team will they'll play a strat that maybe isn't the best strat, but is something that other teams haven't prepared for, and suddenly it forces those teams to be like, what if they do that? Like, what if they do that? And
No, I completely agree. It'll be really interesting to see, and we will see soon because the draft is going to start here in just a second.
all right.
I'm trying to outspeed like HGC. We'll see if I can do it.
You got it. You gotta. I mean, yeah, you should be able to do it.
Yeah,
I feel like you can do it.
I'm just very efficient. I love seeing just almost every single member of both these teams is master or higher. Like,
Yeah.
you know these guys know their game.
Yeah, it looks like Tiger is 17 right now on the
Dang,
GM board.
good for him.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So Pro Division really taking this seriously, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Chair League is about having competition at all levels of skill, but to see this many GMs in this Pro League semifinal is really cool. It's really really awesome.
I completely agree. All right, draft links are going out to the respective captains right now.
All right, I am ready to see this draft. So
let's
Curse Hollow.
switch over to that.
Curse Hollow, like we were saying, it was like the old sort of neutral map.
Yeah, we got the new neutral and the old neutral.
Yep. So
All
I guess we'll
rolled
see.
into one.
Definitely a stronger potential for globals here, for those to be emphasized.
You think we'll see
I don't know.
Samuro? There didn't seem to be
Maybe.
any sort of like priority put onto him last game at all.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I think that they wanted the CC from Zul, right? And that's seemingly why they went that way. But yeah, I hope to see him. It's very chaotic. Whenever I see him played, it's like very chaotic to watch him be played. So I really like that element in games a lot. But
All right, and we're in. Here we go.
all right,
Team R2 this time with first pick, first ban, and Li Ming is the first on the chopping block.
so Brawls deep. Their Chair League playoff lives on the line.
Yeah.
They're gonna think hard about this one, and they're gonna ban Vikings. So they know that R2 can play Vikings because this is the second Vikings ban we've seen.
Yeah, they're putting very high priority on the Vikings ban. And again, this is a potentially very strong Vikings map just because of its size.
Yeah, and I actually, you know what? That Li Ming ban, I think, kind of convinced Brawls Deep that they had to do that now because Li Ming is pretty good against Vikings because of the resets. So I think maybe that's the thinking was. Oh, they banned Li Ming. We know they play Vikings. Let's just
we need
get
to get
that
rid of
off
those.
the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
ETC gonna be the first pickup, and Stereophonic played a great ETC last game.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he did a really good job. There's obviously the potential for stage dive on this map. He picked Mosh Pit
sure.
because there was no. I don't know if it would be a go-to pick, but there's also no cleanse against him, so it feels good, man, when you can do that.
Exactly, because you know if the cleanse is going to be there or not.
Yeah.
By that point. So Vala picked up very early by Brawls Deep. It's possible we might see a Malfurion out of them.
Yeah, that's definitely
Roots
possible.
are very strong on this map because it does have a lot of choke points for catching people out. So we'll see if they end up wanting to pick it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see on the side of Brawls Deep how comfortable they are on supports that are Malfurion, because R2 has shown that they don't need to play Malfurion. That was actually a really great solo Oriel.
The Ariel play was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was
Tips and
extremely
tricks.
impressed. And they're going to go Brightwing. I like this, the global.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And also, I really like Brightwing against ETC because there's always a possibility for the polymorph on the other side of it. And okay, so we're going to get more global right away with Abathur picked up for R2. So now I want to think, and they might hold this part of the equation, but now I'm starting to think, what is getting paired with that Abathur? What is the clone target? We've seen a lot of Greymane in the past. Jaina is always an opportunity. And yeah, I like this pick from them.
I agree.
Just get the support now. Get the Malfurion now. And they are going to have to pick before the very last pick, which belongs to Brawls Deep. But
so with Brawls, though, they now see the Abathur. They've already got... R2's already got their tank and their support. Now they can say, okay, what clone target do we not want R2 to have?
Yeah, that's true. And they're going to lose Muradin almost certainly. So they're going to have to play Johanna. So they should also think about that. Mm-hmm. That is almost definitely going to be the tank they're forced to play here.
Almost definitely.
Like, it would be weird if we didn't see Muradin ban. Honestly, that would be, like, really weird. So they're going to have Johanna. What else are they going to do? They're going to take Tychus off the table. So now I'm thinking maybe they aren't afraid of the Murden ban so much, they might do something weird with their front line. I mean, we just saw a whole game where they did something weird with their front line.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah. But unfortunately, it didn't work.
No, it did not.
So it'll be interesting to see if they shake up and just go with the solo warrior this time around. Usually banning Tychus, though, indicates the want for a double warrior composition. So we'll see what they end up doing. And like you said, R2, it'd be kind of surprising if we didn't see a Muradin ban here, as that does pretty much force a Johanna pick. At this point in the meta, at least.
I mean, again, it looks like these two teams know some stuff about each other. We've seen the Vikings ban twice on the side of Brawls Deep, so they know R2 can do it. Mm-hmm. Now R2 going into their bonus time here and really thinking about this. I mean, Muradin seems like the obvious pick, but there are other things that they could try and target. They could try and limit the damage, especially if R2 knows what their clone target is going to be. They are going to take Muradin off the table, so go use a little bit of bonus time, but you know, the time is there to be used, and if they're discussing what exactly is going to come next and they're thinking about that, you know, obviously no shame in doing that. Mm-hmm. The only problem is we're going to see 2 picks from Brawls Deep here, so R2 is they've used up a little bit of the time that they could use to respond to those picks.
Yeah. So we don't have a tank at all. Like you said, the assumption will be Johanna. Tyrael's going to come out. We might not see the Johanna, and we might see just like a Tyrael and another tank composition.
Nice. Okay. This is good.
This is a lot of great global, honestly.
And I think the thing I really like about this is they have so many options for that last pick. They can pick up another warrior if it seems good. They can pick up a mage.
Josh.
Although that's triple range, I don't like it, but
Josh,
you know?
Stick with me here.
Yes. Okay.
Dahaka.
Yeah, that's doable. And they need another frontliner.
Global.
That's
would
doable.
Be incredibly strong on this map, especially early on, pre-10, when Abathur can't do quite as much. It would be it could lead to a very early curse.
Okay, so that
is a clone target.
Yep.
That's a clone target. Yep.
Okay.
Honestly, the Johanna pick's not looking horrible because of the blind.
Yeah.
And I hate that I'm saying this. Damage Lily.
No, I don't like that. I don't like the triple.
I don't like it either. I didn't even like saying it. It made me feel dirty.
I know that Halloran loves it, and I actually think the Lily is pretty good in some situations, but this is rough. That Illidan just be in the background the whole time, and we're going to get Lunara.
Okay.
Lunara's actually not a bad clone target also.
No, not terrible, especially if Illidan's not available. That's completely reasonable. It is going to be freaking Dahaka. Oh my gosh.
Brawls Deep betting it all on this global comp.
I like this. I really like Brawls Deep's comp on this, especially this map, because, like I said, with the Abathur, you don't have quite as much presence pre-10. And so if Brawls Deep can use this extreme global power, not only to soak longer than they might be able to otherwise, but to take these tributes much easier, and they get an early curse, they might just be able to snowball this, because, as we all know, Illidan does not play well from behind.
Yeah, this is going to be a scary composition for R2 to face down, in my opinion.
Especially early game.
Yeah, and like, if I'm playing Abathur, I'm like so scared at all times. Like, a Falstaff could fly and kill me, a Dahaka could brush stalker over and kill me.
And then a Brightwing could be with either of them at any time.
Yeah, this is like almost a nightmare comp to play Abathur against. There's just so many ways you can die quickly, so scary. But can the double Illidan be contained? I mean,
it can be if Brawls Deep gets the early lead off. If Brawls Deep cannot pull the early lead out with this global comp, I feel like the ramp power of R2 could eventually overwhelm them.
I'm just afraid, like, in a team fight, who is stopping that Illidan? Like, what is stopping it? Dahaka Q, probably not going to hit the Illidan. It's possible, but that Illidan's going to be jumping everywhere. It's so scary. I
Yeah.
just feel like if he can get into the back line, it's... And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but he also has the option for a near global. So, who knows?
All right, well, we are about to find out. On the side of Brawls Deep, we have FC Ignition on that Falstad, Crunk Juice on the Tyrael, Specialty on the Vala, the next Slash on Dahaka, and Tiger on that Brightwing.
And on the side of Team R2, we've got Tips and Tricks protecting the Wild on Malfurion. Stereophonic turning it up to 11 on that silenced ETC. That feels bad, man. Lightsy seeing zero light with his blind eyes as Illidan. The Turk is gonna... I have no Turk jokes with Illidan, or with Avatar. He has no nationality. And Saber on Lunara. I was like trying so hard to make a Turk joke about Avatar. Abaturk? Ah! There we go. That's all I've got. Sorry.
Well,
Apologies.
you know, that's the best we can do on short notice. Brightwing Vala gonna go ahead and just go up. It doesn't look like we're gonna see the crazy middle engage that we normally do. Both teams just getting ready to do what they do best. Abathur gonna go ahead and go to the top lane while Illidan heads bottom. And we've got a 3-man push mid with FC Ignition barely getting out with the barrel roll. And Brawls.
That in the middle, I don't know if you were watching that. Sounds like you were, but Stereophonic singing with the body block. I just was amazed. He just body blocked it perfectly so that FC Ignition could not escape the roots. So really awesome, but no kill.
Yeah,
and
a
really
nice
no
barrel
impact
roll right at the end to keep that from happening. Lightsy on the bottom actually taking massive amounts of damage from Dahaka. He's actually going to have to pull back. Ooh.
Okay.
Ouch.
Little bit of
I
like this. I like this.
Oh, Lightsy. He wants him. He's dodging the bullets, but the stasis. So much damage going in, down to 87 health, and he ends up backing out. This is just too good. I guess I should look up top because that's where 6 of the actual people are, and towers are falling, and people are turning into pigs. But I mean, this bottom one just so much more interesting. Turk ends up having to burrow down because Illidan finally going back. Dahaka just gonna stay in. He's got really good wave clear for a tank, so he should be just fine down the bottom lane.
Yeah, he took the talent at level 1, and I like that too. He stayed hidden for a moment just to sort of enforce that global pressure on the map. Everybody had to sort of wonder, okay, wait, where is he? But yeah, he came out. He will try and stare down Lightsy under his own towers. They are just rabid.
Oh my gosh! I just want to keep the camera down here.
I do too.
Like
but,
FC Ignition just kind of in the middle doing his thing. He's a little low. He's got to be careful of roots and power slides, but looks like Lightsy will back off. Gonna grab this siege camp real quick before the first tribute spawns. Crunk doing the exact same thing with the Tyrael. And everything just kind of progresses as normal. No ammo hardly left on these bottom towers. Everything's been so depleted. Top, almost both towers gone, but the first tribute will spawn at the bottom.
Yeah, already we see Brawls Deep out ahead a little bit. Next Slash, though, in the bottom. Lightsy's all over him. He's going to try and finish it. He will stasis, and Lightsy again forced to give up the hunt for the moment.
It's hard to get a Dahaka. The roots go down onto Specialty, down to 84 health. The spike missed the first time, but it did not miss the second time, and he is going to fall down, making this a 5v4. Next Slash getting extremely low as well. Does not have the burrow available to him, and he will fall too. The rest of Brawls Deep trying to pull out. Tyrael gets rooted down. He will Eldruin's Might out, and unfortunately, this first one is going to go over to R2, and my dreams of the globals and the quick curse may not come true, Josh.
Yeah, that... oh, wow. Stereophonic getting a huge power slide out of those roots. I don't know if we'll get much more. Lightsy going in, and he's gonna get out of there okay, but will slash fall as a result. He's forced to stasis, and he will take the damage, and it looks like that's probably gonna be it. Yes, it is, as he falls. And yeah, like you said, that, you know, Brawls Deep trying to get off to a good start, get ahead, use the ability to soak multiple lanes and show up. That hasn't happened so far. Now we have R2 already hitting 7. They're only slightly ahead. They are a talent tier ahead, and they look like they maybe want to make something of that in the bottom lane.
Yeah, not surprising. I gotta give huge props to Saber. Just, he is doing so much damage on that Lunara right now. We're looking at Reveal on Toxin. We're looking at Splintered Spear, which is the multi-shot for your poison, which I don't see, you know, horribly often.
Yeah, and I actually do want to point out Malfurion respecting the Dahaka with the cleanse, as well as the polymorph, honestly. So I do like that pick. I think that there's a big potential, if Dahaka can hit a Q, to really turn a fight around. It's a big if, but I like the cleanse in response to that. Stereophonic, forced to take the long way around probably at this point. But Brawls Deep very clumped up around this tribute.
Yeah, Lunara is still trying to make her way up. FC Ignition getting extremely low. The polymorph does go down onto Illidan, has to dash to his friendly teammates, but Lunara is here now. They've been able to stall this long enough, and it looks like Falstad will go down. A fantastic roots by Tips and Tricks. Lightsy getting extremely low again. They just cannot finish him off, though. The Abathur shield comes up, and now Crunk Juice in so much trouble, and he is going to fall as well.
I feel like Lightsy, there's still no answer to him. There hasn't been. I've seen a couple Dahaka Qs miss, but obviously hitting an Illidan with is very hard. But Lightsy pretty much getting what he wants and getting out every time.
Oh, but Abathur ends up falling. I don't even know what lane he was in, but like you said, there's that extreme chance of, you better be careful if you're Abathur, because there's so many globals on the side of Brawls Deep that it's very real danger at all times for an Abathur.
I think it might have been bottom, actually. I think that the Haka was hanging around there, but anyways, they will take boss. So R2 working on boss. There is a response here from specialty, but there's really no way for them to get on the point.
No,
so we'll be captured by R2. And now, with the Lunara and the Abathur in the bottom lane, it's decision time for Brawls Deep.
Brawls Deep is down their 10 talent tier right now. They have a boss pushing on them, and this is curse point for R2. This could literally not be a worse situation. Metamorphosis, though, has to be used by Lightsy. Gets out with 50 health. That's a big cooldown used by him, but unfortunately, or I should say fortunately, the tribute is actually spawning up on top, so Brawls Deep should be able to pick this one up and avoid the horrible situation of boss push and curse.
Yeah, that siege camp helping a lot on that boss, so they will get that tribute. That could have been a nightmare situation, because that curse against them would have been rough, but they're in a good spot now to start making a comeback, climbing up. The real question is, if this goes late, what is their team fight going to look like? Because they haven't been able to take advantage of the global yet.
And like you said, they don't have a good answer to that Illidan right now. Stereophonic forced to power slide out. The Gust comes in, blocking them into a very tiny area. Right wing goes out. Judgment by Uther going to take ETC down, and now R2 in full retreat.
Yeah, they're going to take that. Brawls Deep is just going to take that. They're going to try and go to tribute and make sure that they can get that, because ETC is still off the map for 10 seconds. He has Mosh Pit. He doesn't have... Well, Lightsy just saying no. Great polymorph, though, and that's the answer.
Tongue.
That is the answer. That's what we need from Tiger. Yep. So really, I mean, that situation there is what we need to handle the Illidan. If those abilities are used incorrectly or the tongue misses, it's going to be hard. But that was some great play. But FC Ignition being pressured hard. Another great polymorph, but it won't save FC Ignition. Now, next Flash and Tiger going to get out of here. Tiger, though, taking a ton of damage after that power slide. He does drink from the fountain, but it is not enough, TBK.
Well, he went Emerald Wind, which ended up working really well in that tight corridor to kind of keep everybody together, but that does limit his ability to get away, and he did not go cleanse at 7 either.
That's scary with that mosh pit on the table. Honestly,
Mosh pit and roots.
Yep, yep. I mean, and power slide. Like there's plenty of stuff that can stop someone in their track. Vala will fall.
Yeah, at the bottom. Abathur helping out Lightsy to get them, and this is not good. They've been able to take a member of R2 out before the last 2 tributes, but this looks like it's going to be a curse on the side of R2, and they're gonna start pushing away. Oh, Turk ends up getting tongued on the bottom, goes out a little too far. Next slash ends up finishing him off. This is a pretty big deal. You won't have the Abathur presence. You won't have the hat. Crunk Juice, though, in a lot of trouble. There is no towers to save him. Right Wing comes in with a beautiful Emerald win, but unfortunately is just not quite soon enough.
Yeah, if he could have gotten there, but even so,
second or two earlier.
It was a high-pressure situation. There were no structures that could save him. He had to run down the whole lane, basically. So that is an unfortunate situation for Brawls Deep, because now we have R2 just grouped up in the top here, and they can really do what they want.
I am extremely impressed with Brawls Deep as of right now. They're 6 kills behind. They're a building behind, and soon to be some extra towers behind, and they're very close in XP.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's sort of where that global has gone. Is it maybe it hasn't put them ahead, but it has made them not as far behind. But Specialty, the power slide doing a lot. Big ice block from Malfurion preventing that Rain of Vengeance. Tiger just running for his life. Judgment onto Lightsy, and he is just forced to get out of there. So far, it looks like next slash will fall, but that... Oh, wow, he might not actually TBK.
It's getting extremely close. He got the tongue in on the Odin. Lightsy with 4 health. Metamorphosis out, and ETC ends up dying. I don't know how Lightsy is living. This is ridiculous.
This is and actually Tips and Tricks is going to die for sure, because he's just getting absolutely body blocked by Crunk Juice. Specialty still hunting for Lightsy. Still the Demon Hunter on Demon Hunter violence. Not coming to fruition there. But that was just a grinder of a team fight.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And they, look at this, and they picked up the XP lead again off of that, even though they are missing a fort. Their middle and bottom forts are almost gone. They're doing a great job. Like, this global pressure that they're putting in is doing an amazing job at keeping them in this game.
Yeah, and that's absolutely what it's done. It maybe hasn't put them ahead, although they are very slightly ahead on XP right now, but it has kept them in this game this whole time. And they are starting to find answers for the Illidan. They have Judgment on Tyrael. We've seen good polymorphs. There is a possibility for a Gust, depending on the angle, to gust the rest of his team away. So I do think they do have the answer. As Brawls Deep picks up the boss, they need to be sure not to get caught out here.
Polymorph goes on to Lightsy. This is exactly what they want. Already got him down to half health. The clone is coming out, though. Stasis goes down. Lightsy getting hit by absolutely everything. Silence goes down. The Tranquility somehow continuing to keep him alive. Next slash is now the one in trouble as he's running back. Lightsy going absolutely crazy. He's going to have to pull back out. Next slash is going to end up falling. And this was just an absolute insane team fight by R2. Josh, I am at a loss for words at how Lightsy is still alive. Tips and Tricks doing an amazing job at tranking and then ice blocking to allow himself to be completely safe while the Tranquility goes out, and Lightsy has the Dark One's own luck.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the Betrayer's Thirst, so he was able to just get those autos in. The Tranquility was more than enough. Let's see if there's any chance of a defense here from Brawls Deep. It looks like not with Lightsy here. FC Ignition thinking about something, but he did not have Gust available. That would have been a great Gust target, but he did not have it. So that will be the first fort of the game going over... first keep of the game, rather, going over to Brawls Deep.
Thankfully, Brawls Deep did manage to get their boss, and so the boss did take out the bottom fort, took out the gate, not too much more than that. Brawls Deep is content to just go ahead and give R2 this tribute. They don't necessarily need it. This is only their first one. They're going to grab their vision back. Oh, FC Ignition.
Oh, okay. So
forced to use the Gust, and that was the right call. He was dead otherwise.
Yeah, Gus used there, so need to keep track of that. He has 50 seconds. Next Slash not deterred by that. He's looking for something. He goes in, he takes a lot of damage, completely locked down. He will go into the stasis. The Turk, which is the clone, falls immediately, and ETC falls. Lightsy in the backline gets hit by the Rain of Vengeance. Judgment comes in, annihilated. Tips and Tricks running for his life, but he's a pig, and now he's gone, TBK.
Next Slash going to have to be careful. Saber doing some good work with that Abathur hat. Is going to be able to get away, but 3 kills to 1 for the side of Brawls Deep, and R2's boss is up, and they're going to go ahead and grab that very quickly. And I think the big thing we learned from that fight, Josh, was that Lightsy can indeed be killed.
He has an immortal demon soul, but yeah, he was sent back to the Hollow Storms there, and the reason he died was great coordination from Brawls Deep.
Oh,
so the Rain of Vengeance.
Rain of Vengeance, Judgment, the tongue, everything just hitting him. And that's what they need to do. If they can take out Illidan like that, they're in really good shape. All right, so this tribute is going to go over to Brawls Deep. This is going to be huge for them. They have a giant pushing top. They have a boss pushing top, and now they have a curse. This is potentially an extremely huge curse for them, and they're really going to be looking for a keep at least out of this.
What is the call right now? Like, Vala's hanging around top here. The boss is going to get taken for free. It might get this tower. Yeah, it is going to get the towers. Maybe the second tower also. But yeah, they're grouping up bot. They're a little bit late to the party here. This is going to be possible for R2 to rotate down and stop this from happening as they start to do so now.
Yeah, that's a bit of an interesting call not pushing with the boss, because even though there aren't forts now, we're still at a 5v5 situation, and they're not quite 20 yet, and this could be deadly. Tips and Tricks goes ahead and pops his Ice Block and Tranquility, keeping everybody up. Brawls Deep pulling back just a little bit. I think they realize, like, they just hit 20, so they can take the team fight now. We've got 10 seconds left on this curse. They really want to get a team, and there's a huge judgment going in by Crunk. Oh. The Ice Block was gone. Malfurion gets absolutely melted. Stereophonic falls next, and this could potentially be game, Josh.
Yeah, the Illidan clone is in, just basically being ignored at this point. Brawls Deep focusing on getting this keep down. The clone will go down, and now the question is, what are they going to do? There's 2 down for 45 seconds. They're going for core, TBK. They're positioning around this core. Lightsy looking for anything. He does have Metamorphosis available, and everybody is very grouped up. So he's going to go in. He gets hit by the Judgment. The Gust also, he will meta. That is a huge Metamorphosis. Yeah. He is tanky as heck. Lunara will fall, but there are plenty of targets for him to clean up. He's going to get 1. He's going to get 2. Now he's going back to the Hollow Storms. And I don't know, is Brawls Deep going to hang here, or are they going to just get out of here?
Brawls Deep in a very precarious situation right now. Brightwing uses Emerald Wind a little prematurely. Storm Shield goes out. They're going to try and finish this core out. 30% left. Lightsy extremely low right now. Next Slash trying to heal up as much as he can. Abathur jumps on, but it looks like Crunk Juice will be able to finish the core, and they do! Brawls Deep takes it, and we're going to a game 3.
I was not sure about what was about to happen there.
Holy crap.
Brawls Deep showing some serious fortitude in that game, some serious mental fortitude to suffer those early losses and to stick it out and ultimately control that Illidan. And then that gutsy call at the end, I mean...
This is I could not have hoped for anything less.
I think Lightsy almost saved the game for his team.
He really did.
Very nearly saved the game for his team. I'm still in shock that it was as close as it was, but that was a massive metamorphosis that we saw.
Yeah, that I don't know what to say. He took out Falstad, he took out Vala, but there was just too much tank for him to finish it off.
Yeah. And, I mean, the Abathur was doing also... that's the other thing we didn't talk about while it was actually happening, is that the Abathur was shielding the core, getting a good amount of value, a good amount of damage in against Brawl D.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, there's some Pog champs in the chat. That's pretty much how I felt through that whole sequence. I'm just gonna leave this here. I'll leave this here.
I I am still in shock. Like that was an incredibly played by Brawls Deep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they proved me wrong. I was very afraid about the Illidan, and ultimately, it all came together.
Well, it worked out well because they didn't just have one or two tools. They used every tool. It was polymorph, then judgment, then Dahaka tongue, then rain of vengeance. They just piled on so much that he just couldn't survive. And honestly, he did survive ridiculously way too many times, even with all that. But in the end, it was enough to overcome it.
I'm still sort of in shock. It was, oh, there were so many great moments in that game.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like what's your highlight? Wish I could do the well, Win 10 DVR tells us that
Oh
this
yes.
and then draw on the screen. I don't
Yeah.
have that,
No,
guys.
we can't do that. But
That is I can't afford that.
I like the play at the end where Lightsey desperately he had a huge metamorphosis and it looked like he might be able to do it. It wasn't quite enough. It was a little bit more out of reach than we initially thought because Krunk was the last one alive,
Yeah.
and he once a core drops to like 4%, his passive's gonna kill it anyways.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So I mean, having that Tyrael there was almost kind of insurance, right?
I love to see Judgment. You just never see that anymore. It feels like it seems like it's always Sanctification, but he did a great job with the Judgment. So I actually got to point out that I think Krunk had a pretty good game. Uh, he he had his moments on Arthas in game one, but I think he had a very strong all around Tyrael game, and
Yes.
and there were a lot of moments like the coordination, the communication, obviously there. The Judgment secured a couple kills and really helped destroy that Illidan's chances of doing much. So big shout out to him. And I also felt like Tips and Tricks also for R2 had a pretty good performance in that game. He had a couple moments like some pretty clutch ice blocks.
Yes.
To
The
save
ice
the place.
block Tranks
Yeah,
worked out extremely well.
yeah. So yeah, I think some great individual plays on both sides. Honestly, I mean even FC Ignition on Falstad had some really good play. I mean I could talk about everybody on both sides, but I like to kind of follow a couple players over the course of the series. That's kind of how I mentally follow like competitive games a lot of the time. And it's cool to see Krunk having a pretty strong performance in game two. So that's good. That's a performance that you can definitely feel good about.
Yeah. Plus, I don't want to see the reigning competitor get. I mean, it would be kind of cool if the reigning competitor got 2-0'd, but come on, we all want to see game 3.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things like when you've competed in like tournament style brackets, you understand that you need to just stay calm. Like you're down a game, you're down at the beginning of game two. You just stay calm and stick to the plan. And they did exactly that. And I honestly think that Brawls Deep, having been here before, they understood what they needed in order to pull this off. So game 3 is going to be on Sky Temple. It looks like
Game 3 is going to be on Sky Temple, and we're getting people into the lobby right now.
the other thing I want to point out that I did not say in game 1, but we did have that little draft issue, and Brawls Deep were very magnanimous about it. They say, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not really an admin. I'm just here to talk about video games. So, like, maybe you would be better equipped to deal with this, but I don't even know if they had to do that. It seemed like a nice gesture from them, honestly. And they lost game 1, so, I mean, that can't have felt good to be like, well, yeah, okay, take that. Oh, we lost. Whoops.
But at the end, they were just like, okay, well, you're not winning game 2.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, well, game 1 was fun, boys, but we're going to take game 2. We're going to wrap that up.
Yeah, and they did, and they did it quite well. All right, so we're just waiting for a few more people. I assume that there are some bathroom breaks going around right now, which is not surprising.
Yep, that is not surprising at all because we are going to game three. Whew, I feel like I didn't shut up at the end of that game. My apologies.
Oh my gosh. It was
There's
crazy.
there was a lot to say. There was a lot to say.
I know. I'm trying to contain my excitement in 140 characters right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's Twitter is a difficult medium to fully express your thoughts, and right now I have a lot of them.
Yeah. Like, you could write articles on this.
I could. Don't get me
That's
started.
how good that was.
That was pretty good. It was pretty good. So we're just waiting for these teams to return. We are almost ready to go, it looks like. Just missing a couple.
Yeah, just missing a few.
Somebody in chat screams Rexar. I feel you. I also
How
feel
cool
the
would it
Rexar.
be if we saw some Rexar?
It would be really cool. It would be. It would be the dream, you might even
Be the
say.
dream. Okay. Just need to get... so what do you think? What do you think the priorities are going to be on the Sky Temple? Matt, do you think we'll see very strong global priority placed again?
I think that's definitely possible because globals are still very good on this map. So that's why I actually really think that Falstad specifically on this map is quite good because the boss often becomes a late game point of contention, and the Gust is extremely effective around that area. So I would expect to see a Falstad at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Brightwing is just already good, so
Yes.
having the global is also really good. I think ETC again, like a lot of the heroes that have global, we sort of expect could be picked on in any given game, anyways. Dahaka is kind of the weird one. Dahaka is like, but it worked out, so it's also possible we could see that. Honestly,
Yeah.
I really like this map for Dahaka because there's bushes in strange places actually, so you can really pull off some weird stuff.
No, I know. I thought the Dahaka was actually used to very impressive efficiency in that
Yeah.
second game.
It always feels like he feels sort of like a budget Stitches to me in that if you don't land those drags consistently, the character feels a lot weaker than other heroes that aren't as dependent on a single ability.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw some great drags from him, and even when they didn't have that, he often stalled a lot for his team, like using his burrow,
Yeah.
and so I thought it was pretty good.
All right, guys. Good news. The draft is going to be starting in just a second. I am sending links out right now, and then
So
we'll get this thing going.
I want to point out that is there have been two other series for Brawls Deep. There was a quarterfinals and like the round of 16 or whatever in this playoff bracket for Season 3 Pro Division. That is the first game lost for Brawls Deep. That is
in all of Chair League, all of Season 3.
Actually, it is all of Season 3. Well, I don't know. I can't say that. They won 8 series during the regular season. I don't know if they actually lost any games. I can try and check that right now. But they definitely did not lose any series, and that's the first game in this playoff bracket that they've lost. They haven't lost any games in their 2 previous series.
Well, I mean, just jokingly, I said, guys, I need to have a few more Brawls Deep guys checked in for Game 3, and one of the guys was just like, "Oh, sorry, no, we haven't had to do that for a Game 3 before." Wah wah.
Wow, the humble brag. I like it. And the draft's
Yeah.
actually already underway.
And there's the Viking ban again.
I want to know who it is on
I know. I
R2
want to
that
know who
plays
plays the
it.
Viking.
I want to know. I guess we may not get to see it unless R2 is triumphant here and they make it to grand finals. Maybe then they would have the chance. But we won't see it in this game as ETC picked first for Brawls Deep. And we have a Vala ban from R2. So Malfurion still on the table. Brightwing. That seems kind of like, that's the thing. If you pick Brightwing for the global, you do give up some of the tasty Malfurion.
Brawls says, okay, R2, we're done with you hogging ETC. He's ours this
Yeah.
time.
Exactly. It's our turn to rock out. So we'll see if it is. Okay, Li Ming. We have not seen Li Ming at all this series.
No.
She was banned last game. And I think she was not banned in game 1. So, and then Malfurion leaves. Li Ming, Malfurion. This
Okay.
leaves Brawls Deep open for a Brightwing if they want.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see if Brawls D... Because what if you grab Brightwing and Falstad here? And it's not going to happen, but I mean, what if you did? Because technically ETC does have a global ult if he wants one.
Yes, and given that there is a Li Ming on R2, it seems likely that we will see the stage dive because there's already a couple ways for that to be interrupted, and it is going to
Yeah.
be Brightwing. So, are we going to see a Falstad ban, maybe? That's definitely a possibility. They also could just ban Muradin. I mean, I guess if you're Brawls, you could probably ban Muradin.
R2 could technically pick up Falstad if they wanted to, since they're first to grab right after.
Yeah. I was gonna say I was gonna say Brawls could do it, but it seems like you probably just ban the Muradin. Muradin seems just like the obvious ban, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, anytime, and that's just kind of the state where we are right now, right? If you grab ETC and ban Muradin, you're forcing the other team into a abnormal, at least for now, tank comp or Johanna.
Yeah, exactly. So
There goes the Falstad. So they don't want it necessarily, or they at least want to keep Brawls Deep from getting it. Because a Falstad Dahaka would be kind of silly. But fun. Would be I mean, because we technically could have a 5 global team, and how silly would that be? Other than being awesome. And silly, but awesome.
How would it be
I really
5?
want it. I want it now.
How would it be 5 though?
ETC, Stage Dive, Dahaka, Burrow, Brightwing, Falstad. What am I missing? I'm missing one. Crap. It's not 5. I feel bad.
You're saying like there is okay. I see what you're saying. I was like they have Tychus though. That's not okay. I got you.
Everyone's just like, all right, guys, to the other side of the map, and Tychus is just like, oh.
Tychus is like, I have a drill.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, drill doesn't help you. So.
No.
All right. I mean, I guess technically Oriel, when you go like game, can fly places.
Yeah, level 20. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think we'll be seeing Oriel this game. That seems highly unlikely given the current compositions.
Yes.
We got the Alarak ban from Brawls Deep, so Muradin's still on the table for R2 if they want it, and I
feel like they're going to take
that.
it. They don't have to take it right now necessarily, but I like the Zool. Zool allows Li Ming to have very easy to hit targets. They are going to go the Muradin, which I like. That leaves their last pick to be a reactive pick to what Brawls Deep ends up doing.
I also like the Zool against the Tychus too, because I imagine we'll probably see the Shade bone armor, and that's kind of one of the things that when you pick a double melee into a Tychus, like you still do it regardless in a lot of situations, but it's nice to have the Zool damage avoidance available. So that's pretty cool. Plus the bone prison. Pretty good against Brightwing, especially if they end up going Emerald Wind. I like this. There's a lot of blow-up potential already.
There's a lot of lockdown already. You got Roots, you got the Bone Prison, you've got Stormbolt from Muradin. You've got some slows from him as well for Thunderclap. Like, it's It's a little scary right now for that Tychus or the Brightwing.
Yeah, for sure. And now I just think Brawls Deep, it's you have so many options. Picking up the Tychus suggests to me that they are going to go with more melee. And okay, so we're going to get the Zarya. Not melee, but a tank.
Okay.
Uh,
I like the Zarya pick. Zarya, I feel, is just an excellent addition to any double warrior composition because not only does she bring decent damage, she brings some extra support type abilities too. Get some extra shields for Brightwing, get some extra shields for Tychus, whatever.
But it seems like now with Brawls Deep really running out of time, they have 6 seconds now, and they need to add some damage to this composition. And it's going to be Leoric.
Triple warrior. All right. All right, then.
Okay.
All right.
You and I are like, all right.
All right.
Okay. All right. All right.
Well, I mean, we've got 2 decent Entomb targets right now. Malfurion's not going anywhere. Zul's not going anywhere. So, I mean, that's something. You got some lockdown right there. It could also be used to set up mosh pits as well.
I'm scared. I'm just scared. I'm just scared for Brawls Deep because it's like I'm having flashbacks to game 1 when again it was like I think they had Malfurion, but it was like 3 frontliners. I guess Zarya's kind of a frontliner, kind of not, but still pretty much a frontliner. And Tychus, and yeah, it didn't really work out. So maybe this will be better. I like the Zarya here, and I'm a big Leoric fan. Like, I'm excited that Leoric has been picked. I'm just so scared for Brawls Deep. I don't know.
It's one heck of a front line, but we said that about game 1, too.
And it's going to be Rainer.
Oh, so
Jimmy.
This is most likely the okay. We don't have Tychus. What's our next best option? Rainer with Giant Killer. To deal with these high health targets.
I mean, I feel like I haven't seen someone play Rainer in a. Oh my. I don't know.
It's been a long time since I've seen a Rainer, to be completely honest. And
yeah.
I don't know why. Other than he just kind of fell out of favor. Like he I guess just is kind of middling right now. But I mean, with Falstad and Vala off the table, it's like why not Rainer? They're just gonna probably use him as a poor man's Tychus right now against this HP heavy lineup.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I get it. I get that it's like a, you're like, okay, we don't have Tychus, I guess this, but interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Very.
I worry about the Leoric because I guess the Leoric is good against the Muradin and potentially the Zul if you can land the W, but it's just like, it feels like there are a lot of ways for them to disengage from the Leoric.
Yeah. And it looks like Brawls Deep is using one of their subs for this game.
Oh, man. This is, so it's Nailter.
Yeah, Nailter.
Nailter coming in cold.
Coming in, replacing Tiger. So.
And he's playing Brightwing, right? You're going to be playing the Brightwing? Okay, so he's subbing in at the support position. I mean, I hope that Nailter's feeling warmed up. I hope he's been playing some Hero League, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Guess we'll find out.
Oh, Haloran in the chat saying he would have gone Lily.
Of course he would have.
I don't know, man. Really?
It's all about the damage Lily with him.
It just... Does it even fit this? I don't know.
I'm still waiting on...
I guess you're anticipating Giant Killer on somebody for the shred, but...
Alright, here we go. The final game of this Brawls Deep R2 series to decide who goes on to the Pro League Finals on Saturday.
Yeah, this is it.
This
I
is
mean, this
it.
is this is it.
This
It's
is for
triple
all
pick.
the marbles. Or not quite all the marbles, but a large handful of marbles.
You are guaranteeing yourself a chance at all the marbles if you win this.
Yes.
A chance at
You
all the
could
marbles.
get all the rest of all the marbles.
They could be yours.
Mm-hmm. They could be. But you gotta want it. You gotta want it.
You gotta really want it. You gotta want it enough to play a triple warrior plus Tychus comp.
That's right.
That's how bad you gotta
That is
want it.
right. All right. Well, I'm excited to see this triple warrior comp.
Same. I'm really excited. I love Leoric. Never get to cast him, so.
All right. Well, I'll let you introduce the Leoric then.
Oh, all right.
I know.
All right. Thank you, man. So on the side of Brawls D, we've got FZ Ignition playing Tychus, the Next Slash playing the Skeleton King Leoric, Crunk Juice on the ETC, Special T on Zarya, and Nailter, the sub, coming in for Tiger, playing that Brightwing.
And on the side of R2, we have Tips and Tricks on Malfurion, and Lightsy on Li Ming, Saber on Raynor, the Turk on Zul, and Stereophonic again playing that Warrior on the Muradin.
Yep, and we do have Backlash for Zul. I'm not surprised given this comp especially.
Nope.
So Crunk Juice going to find a lot of people in that bush. There is some poke going out. Stereophonic forced to get out of there. Just a little initial skirmish. Lightsy getting a bit cheeky with the missiles, but he won't pay for that.
It's like what a fun place to brawl to. This is like, screw the middle, let's go to the eye.
It's like quick match, right? It's like the vision is the most important thing on the map, so you have to fight over it for sure, like no question.
I do want to point out the Demolition Expert talent on Zarya.
Ooh. I actually don't see a lot of Zarya, nor do I play a lot of Zarya. So, I have not taken that talent.
So the energy talents were nerfed a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've not played a ton of Zarya since the patch, being as the patch just happened really fairly recently. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of damage that grenade ends up doing later. 4-man push on the top by Team R2. Nailter just trying to do what he can, and the rest of his team looks like they're going to maybe rotate up to save him. At least a few.
They're going for it now, but they have to go through this vision. So they know, like R2 immediately knows that they're there. Crunk is going to threaten like they're rotating up, but he's not actually planning on doing that. And it looks like it will be a trade on the temples. But so far, R2 sort of getting the better deal here as they wipe out that top wall.
Well, and that's the thing about getting those front two towers and capturing that top temple. The shots are going directly onto the fort right now, and if they capture that entire temple, that fort is gone.
Yeah, now Crunk and Nailter want to make it look like they're capable of doing something here, but they are outnumbered, and they're just going to leave, so they really don't accomplish too much there. They threaten a little bit. Meanwhile, Li Ming doing some good damage mid here. FC Ignition a little bit low. He needs to be careful. If he gets a max range orb in the face, that's going to be painful.
Yeah. Crunk Juice still trying to do what he can. Power slides out, has to face melt backwards. Barely going to escape with his life. The fort does fall, and really good start for R2 going into this. And Zul is going to fall in the bottom. Lightsy doing lots of work right now. It's like,
yeah,
it does work on Illidan, does work on Li Ming. Look at that next slash. 200 health, 100 health, and he's going to fall as well. Lightsy getting the reset, and FC Ignition's going to have to be super careful because another orb to the face could kill him too.
Yeah, there's just also a brawl in the top lane. Crunk a little bit separated from his team. Stereophonic with the body box will go back onto Saber on the Raynor. The passive will go off. Now the roots on specialty. I think that they're probably just going to get out of here. Crunk Juice now in the clear, but gets hit by the Stormbolt. The Raynor getting a lot of damage. He'll power slide out of there. So no kills on either side in that little skirmish there. But honestly, Stereophonic really, so far, seems to have Crunk Juice's number in these little
really
one-on-ones.
Raynor did go Seasoned Marksman, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. That will add a lot of extra damage with the Giant Killer if he decides to go with that at 13.
Yeah. I mean, I expect to see that.
I don't know why. I don't know why he wouldn't. against this
Yeah,
comp.
it feels like that was the reason they chose this hero, honestly, was the option to have access to that. So we will see Saber having a poke war with specialty in the top. Meanwhile, though, next Slash going to have to use his Wraith Walk to get away from that Bone Prison. It feels wrong for the Skeleton King to be afflicted by Bone Prison in any way.
It does, right?
I don't know. It feels bad.
Well, I mean, technically he's not in Wraith form.
In that case, he was not. That's true. That is true.
Looks like R2 is going to go ahead and capture their siege camp, get that pushing real fast before this next bottom temple spawns, and spawn it will, as if it spawned to my call.
Yes, it was responding to your beck and call. That's correct.
Good job, bottom temple.
Yep.
And this is going to be fairly heavily contested right now. Looks like R2 going to go ahead and grab that Merc temp at the top so that it can push as well. Turk going ahead and stopping the opposing Merc camp from pushing. Rotations on their way down. Brawls Deep seems to have this place under lockdown. Nice roots, though, by Tips and Tricks. Crunk Juice taking quite a bit of initial damage. But Specialty is going to run in, start this temple up.
Yeah, and Brawls Deep needs to be careful. Specialty is potentially about to be isolated from his team. He will get away. So there's actually a great play. It looked kind of like Next Slash was just kind of goofing around. But he had baited Lightsy into going very hard, and the rest of his team wrapped around, but there was kind of a miscommunication there, and Lightsy was able to get away.
Yeah, and this is not a great start for Brawls Deep. They are almost 2 levels back now. They're about to be heroics down, and we've got a nice push by minions going on up top because that fort was down.
Yeah, and whoa, what happened there? Zul got caught out.
Yeah, Zul did get caught out as he was rotating. The level 10s were achieved. The Skeletal Mages came out, but it was a 4-man rotation. That's not going to do much. And look at this R2 being super cheeky now that they have 10, even without Zul, and they're taking this boss. Specialty shooting has to see that it's not being it's being taken right now. Boss almost dead, and this is going to be a fight. The Hyperion does come out. Leoric trying to stand on this. It's not Wave of Force.
Oh.
A huge Twilight Dream coming out onto 2 members, and the resets are real, Josh.
Yeah, but actually get Crunk Juice just stage diving in. This will go over to Brawls Deep as they start that fight down a talent here. But ETC showing up on time. FC Ignition will not get the kill on the Turk.
Oh, well, the grenade!
The Turk just caught like a whole pound and a half of high explosive in the face. But Tychus dies to minions. No!
Oh, no! Tychus.
Oh, what just happened?
That was such a ridiculous team fight. FC Ignition not super happy about that.
Not like this.
Not like this. Minions OP, nerf minions. But that was actually an incredible play. A Twilight Dream.
Yeah.
Doing so much work in the middle, but then level 10 being achieved in the middle of that fight by Brawls Deep. Expulsion Zone comes out, is thrown directly onto the boss spot. And that just kept anyone from R2 from being able to pick up the rest of it, and that allowed them to get the boss.
Yeah,
another great Expulsion Zone right there.
Yeah, so thrown here. Oh, a big stage into the Entomb.
Beautiful.
Right into the crypt. Crunk Juice landing on top of R2. And I actually do want to point out that we do have Disintegrate for Li Ming.
No
it was held initially.
Yeah.
And I think the idea was, you know, if you go Mosh, we're going to go Wave of Force potentially. But it is going to be Disintegrate. So a lot of damage on the side of R2, but so far we've seen Brawls Deep just sort of work around that with this tanky composition.
Yeah, Brawls Deep really coming back. ETC, though, going to fall up top. There he is. Poor guy. He's dead. Disintegrated. It's okay, he'll be back.
He'll be back, yeah.
He'll be back. Bottom Temple has been taken by Brawls Deep. That middle fort, not long for this world. It is going to fall. And Brawls Deep really coming back. A nice Entomb, but a beautiful Twilight Dream by tips and tricks. Next slash goes down, and they will be down Leoric, but as we all know, Leoric comes back pretty quick. Li Ming up top by herself, just going to keep, should be able to get the rest of these shots at the temple. No one's really opposing her right now. Saber's there just in case. They should be able to take Crunk Juice on in a 2-on-1 if they need to, but it looks like Lightsy is going to abandon because next slash is coming up very soon.
But a great roots and disintegrate, tons of damage, but it's not enough. Saber will get dropped on a great power slide. Crunk just absolutely securing those 2 kills. Brawls deep, picking up a quick double, and even though the temples are down, they have some time. They can get out onto the map. They can push these lanes out. And, I mean, they're pretty much neck and neck for XP.
Yeah. Just massive, massive props to Crunk Juice on those stage dives so far. They've been absolutely insane and perfectly timed, especially to work with the Entomb Stereophonic going to fall to that final Drain Hope on Next Slash. Next Slash grabs Entomb, but it's Lightsy. And we all, if we've learned anything about Lightsy these last 2 games, it's
that specialty way caught out here. He does get the cleanse. He's trying to get out. He's very low health. Next Slash kind of body blocks him. Next Slash will catch the orb for him. Good teammate there, the Leoric. And yeah, that was almost disastrous. That was almost like a very bad situation because you don't want to lose someone right now. You want to be able to use this interval here to get out on the map, get to 16, maybe force something out.
Nailter did go Blink Heal on his Brightwing, though, and that was a huge deal to be able to get Specialty a little extra HP as he was getting away. The Expulsion Zone helping quite a bit as well. All of them so far from him have gotten pretty good value.
Yeah, I have to agree. And honestly, Specialty was doing so much damage at the beginning of that fight that I think it also bought him a little bit of time because even though he got sort of CC'd, Zarya does a lot of damage when she's high energy. It's it's hard to watch because people's health bars just melt away.
25 seconds until this boss is back up. Middle Temple spawning. Lightsy coming in quickly. Crank Juice first stage dive in where it doesn't actually end up hitting hardly anybody. Stereophonic getting trapped around. Entomb with the expulsion locking Saber in, but it's going to be the next slash that falls first. Zarya with 13 health going to fall as well. The resets coming out like crazy from Lightsy, and 3 people on the side of Brawls Deep will fall, and this temple is going to go over. Well, it's...
First, we're going to get boss.
Well, and that's the thing. Crunk Juice is say, okay, we may not be able to stop your boss, but I'm sure it's not going to get this temple.
Yeah, he's going to get some of it. He's not going to be able to get all of it. He's going to be forced to back out. He does not have stage dive, so he has to play carefully. As soon as he sees the rotation, Slash will see it for him. He's going to have to get out of here. He stays a little bit late, though. Stereophonic, looking for the Stormbolt, won't get it. So, and now I sort of see what this comp, like the Expulsion Zone plus the Entomb is hilarious. If you can land it.
It's just like, well, you can't even get out the front entrance because you're going to get knocked back into the back of the Entomb.
Yeah, you shut the door with a particle cannon. I like it. That's my kind of strategy.
The boss is not really going to get a whole lot of value, honestly. The gate's going to go down. They're not even going to lose a tower, though. And interesting. The Expulsion Blast comes out, a beautiful stage dive, and R2 is just popping like balloons on a hot day that have needles inserted into them.
So, so often and most of the time? Alright. So, yeah, the balloons did pop indeed, and that was a great Entomb, actually, from Next Slash.
The timing has been just spot on these ults right now. The stage dive goes down, the Entomb goes down right before the stage dive lands, and the Expulsion Pulse is out. Like, the Expulsion Zone has just been doing such work combined with these other 2 ults.
Oof, Zarya's... I also like the Zarya against the Li Ming. I'm seeing the strength of that now, being able to soak up those orbs. Specialty doing quite a bit of poke here. Trying to put some pressure on Lightsy as they move away. Yeah, there's even more energy for the Zarya. Although, most of it probably just going to degrade here. But Crunk in the top needs to be careful. He's going to mount. He is forced to face melt, however. He does not have stage dive for 7 seconds. He is caught away from his team and will be killed. So that is unfortunate. That is going to limit a little bit what Brawls Deep can do on the map right now.
Crunk was just a little far out without the stage dive escape. If he had had the stage dive, he might have been able to see the rotations in time and pull out. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, you're just going to get mobbed by 4 people, and that's it. Temple's activating, top temple and bottom temple. Both the siege giants have been captured. The bottom ones will be pushing a lot more for R2, seeing as Brawls Deep just got cleaned up. Top temple seems to be where Brawls Deep is gathering right now. There's going to be level 20s for both teams very soon. XP almost exactly even. Kill count very close as well. But they're going to try and get a decent push in on this top, as the temple laser will easily work through this tower and start on the keep.
Yeah, it's the call right now. Just appears to be soak lanes. ETC is going to go to the bottom here and clear this out. There's really no effort to push in a lane from the side of Brawls Deep. Both sides are now level 20, looking for any crazy surprises, but most of R2 is actually holding their talent right now. But then they start to come in. It is going to be Bone Spear for Zool. That's great. I like seeing that. A couple bolts of the storm as well.
Hardened Shield, Leoric. And we're going all particle grenades all the time in the Zarya build right now.
And they do quite a bit of damage at high energy. Like, we've seen the Li Ming get poked down very hard by it. Never really securing a kill. But MZ Ignition taking a ton of damage. The shield not really getting a lot of mileage there. Next Slash force a Wraith Walk out of there, and they will be able to get out of there. Next Slash still has Entomb if he wants to. Expulsion Zone, though. Great Entomb following up the Expulsion Zone. But the Twilight Dream, the Blink-in Twilight Dream from Malfurion is huge. Next Slash now in a lot of trouble. Very low HP, and he's in the front line. The Storm Shield, but the Root, and both sides are hesitant here. Crunk Juice in the back line, TBK, but I think he is going to fall. But he does bolt away.
Oh my gosh. Every single ult used in that fight. The grenades doing so much damage. Li Ming having to back out. Only one death, but Zool's was swift and painful. That was the combo is crazy, but you have to give massive props to Tips and Tricks. He saved that fight from being disastrous.
There's a tip for you. If you have Bolt of the Storm and you can hit most of their team with Twilight Dream, it might be worth it to do it. And he did. And yeah, it was right after that Entomb. And yeah, Zool did fall. But, I mean, it sort of... It looked horrible for a moment.
Yeah. No, it looked absolutely horrible. And I'm impressed they only lost Zool on that. 2 temples now about to activate in just a little over 20 seconds. All team members back up. Well, we have one keep down for each team. Boss is up. Brawls Deep kind of posturing around it. And either team is a wipe away from losing. Crunk Juice getting so extremely low, so much damage coming off that leaning. Next Slash forced to Wraith Walk back. Crunk Juice going to pull back. Turk with the Bone Prison onto Zarya. Again, so much damage coming out. ETC comes in with the stage dive. The Turk trapped again in the Entomb. A beautiful Twilight Dream again. Tychus goes down. The Li Ming resets are real. Nailter barely getting out with the Blink Heal.
How did Nailter get away? The Blink Heal is so good, but he will fall. Next Slash is on the wrong side of this team, so he's just going to try and buy his team a couple seconds.
This is huge. R2 wants to finish this here. There are 3 members of Brawls Deep down. This is for the Chair League finals right now. Only Crunk Juice and Specialty remain. Next Slash will be up quickly, though, and this is very dangerous for R2.
Oh, Saber is so close to dying. He goes down. Stereophonic taking core damage. Specialty just trying to get away. He doesn't have the shield. He will fall. Now it's Crunk Juice against 3, but Next Slash is going to be up soon. The core still has shield.
This is so scary. Next Slash about up. Crunk, this is 2 tanks, and R2 knows it. They know they have to get out. They cannot finish it. These tanks are just bullying them.
And Entomb is still available, although Next Slash gets smacked hard there, so he is going to try and avoid these roots. He will do that. The Drain Hope giving him a good amount of healing against Stereophonic. So he's going to pull back. They're going to try and just clear up these waves, but Leoric will fall. And this
Tychus is back up.
Everybody is very staggered, but the health values are pretty low. But there goes ETC on top of Tix and Trick. The blink forward, Crunk Juice is going to turn around, try and just secure the kill on Stereophonic, I think.
Yeah, and it looks... Oh, Stereophonic with the Dwarf Toss out. He has no mana, though. There's nothing Lightsy can really do about this. And he falls as well. The staggered deaths are real, Josh. And now, Brawls Deep has the chance to either just say, we're going to try for boss, or we're just going to play it safe and try to grab both of these temples. Turk in a horrible spot right now. Li Ming going crazy. Nailter getting so low, forced to use Storm Shield. Zool fell just a little bit earlier. The bloodbath is real.
Somebody changed the mode to Brawl because there are a lot of kills going out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just an absolute grinder happening here where people are running in, getting a kill, dying themselves. And yeah, Brawl's deep. They want to force R2 off of these if they can, because the damage is going to that last keep. But check this out.
Siege. Gotta be careful.
There is a siege in the bottom lane that's pressuring the core right now on the side of Brawl Deep. So something to watch as this fight continues. Crunk Juice does not want to be forced off this point, but now
next slash is going to be up in just a second, and it will be a 4v3. Murden just got back up. He's heading to the middle, and this is the scary part. Bolt of the Storm out, as well as the Li Ming teleport just to get away. The temple is going to be taken momentarily, at least, by Brawls Deep, but they are taking legitimate core damage right now. Tychus running down, trying to stop these catapults. Down to 79%. Brawls Deep trying to grab as much of the temples as they can. All of R2 is now back up, and this is just chaos, Josh.
Yeah, next slash managed to juke a Storm Ball and just sort of walk away from that situation. Crunk, though, he needs to be careful. He is going to just power slide out. He's going to do the safe thing and just get out of there.
Look how even this still is. We have one keep left on either side. A tiny bit of core damage on the side of R2. A little bit more core damage on the side of Brawls Deep. We're going with some insane five-man team fight right now. Stereophonic jumping out. Oh no! And Zool is caught again. Expulsion pulse. Expulsion zone in the Entomb, and he's just going to go down. The stage dive comes out. Saber so low, he is going to fall as well. Tips and Tricks, Lightsy running for their lives, but this is a 5v3 now. Murden trying to pull back to get with the rest of his team.
Tips and Tricks tried to juke with the bolt there and almost worked. The Twilight Dream will go out to no effect. It's Lightsy and Stereophonic against 5. This seems like an improbable defense. Lightsy can do a lot of damage, but this team is so tanky, it almost doesn't matter. And it looks like Lightsy's trying to get around and maybe hit Nailter, but it looks futile here as Brawls Deep are going to close this game out.
What an absolutely insane final game. Triple Warrior comp carrying Brawls Deep to the Chair League Pro Finals.
I feel like the last 5 minutes of that game were just a constant team fight that was in different parts of the map at any given time.
That was...
There was insane. Too much to say. Like, there were too many things happening. Maybe that's on me, but like it was crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it. There was a couple huge stage dives, honestly, from Crunk. I said I like to follow like a couple players throughout the series and really kind of dig into what they were doing throughout. Yeah. Crunk came through huge.
Oh my gosh.
Huge. Like
so insane.
He had himself a game.
I am just so impressed by the coordination of the Brawls Deep ultimates. Like the heroics were just played so well. The stage dive went off, the Entomb went down, ETC lands, and Expulsion Zone goes out to trap the unfortunate soul, usually Zool.
The Entomb Expulsion Zone thing, it seemed kind of gimmicky at first, but it worked pretty well. There were situations where I could see people like bumping up against the Expulsion Zone and just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was... I'm almost at a loss for words. It was like such a cool composition with it, and like, Crunk just. I mean, Crunk has to feel good. Like if
Oh
I'm
my
Crunk Juice
gosh.
right now, I'm like, you know what? My game one was a bit rough. Game two, I really brought it back, and I mean,
His juice was
he.
certainly crunked.
I mean, it was yeah, it was crunked up to
Like,
11. I mean, it was. Whew.
oh my gosh. That's probably the most insane series of Chair League I've ever casted before.
I mean, for me, it
Hands down.
definitely is. It definitely is. That like, and you have to hand it to Brawls Deep. The first and third games, they tried things which were a little bit different, but that third game, they really. And we talked about this before the game that if you have a strategy that you think is good, but is not necessarily your only trump card, it's nice to throw it out now
Yeah.
because whoever
This
wins
is
that other semifinal, they're going
this
to
is
look at
yeah,
this
this is for
game.
finals.
Yeah. They're going to look at this and they're going to go, all right, what do we do against that if it starts happening? Like, what is our strategy against this?
Sure. And at the same time too, this is something they may have been saving, a pocket pick or something like that, that they had to pull out now because R2 was that much of a threat.
Yeah, they were. There was some discussion. I actually want to talk draft with you really quickly.
Okay.
There was some discussion in the chat that it felt like R2 sort of banned themselves out a little bit, in the sense that Vala was banned, and also Falstad was banned. I think I'll double check that. Yeah, it was Vala and
Yes.
Falstad
Yes.
that R2 banned. And looking back, now you probably didn't know that Brawls Deep was going to go triple warrior, but
No,
looking back
no.
on those bans now, I feel like maybe even just even having access to Falstad might have helped them in a couple of those situations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you think, but I sort of agreed with the viewer that was talking a little bit about the ban process for R2. Obviously, you can't, unless you've seen this, you can't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
But that Rainer pick, it didn't look that bad, but certainly with different bans, they would have had different options.
Sure. I I mean that game could have gone either way.
Yeah.
It literally could have gone either way. And I have to give huge props to Tips and Tricks because the Bolt Twilight Dream, not once, but
Yeah.
twice, that basically saved his team was incredible.
Yeah, no, he would. I mean, you gotta love a Malfurion that is willing to drop the
Ham.
bolt Twilight Dream. Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta love it. And he was very willing to do it. Tips and tricks, really, I think throughout this series, really showing us a variety of playstyles. We saw that
Oh, yeah.
Oriel obviously, and he was very aggressive with the Twilight Dream in this game.
Yeah, we saw a lot of different heroes picked throughout these 3 games.
Yeah, and we saw a lot more
Very good variety.
Zool. We saw a lot more Zool than I totally anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, obviously he kind of fits in, but like he's not like a must-pick hero. And
Yeah.
we saw quite a bit of him, so that's cool. He's actually I really love Zool, so really good to see that play. And I think the Turk did a pretty good job in this game. Honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
thought there were a lot of moments where it just felt though like Zool was
he was
not.
getting picked on. He was
Yeah.
totally getting picked on in that game. He was
Yeah, sure.
he was the obvious Entomb target.
Yeah.
He was, and they did it well. Well, guys, huge congratulations to Brawls Deep for going into the Pro Division Chair League Finals that will be taking place this Saturday. If you haven't yet, follow Chair League on Twitter at Chair League, and they'll have the full schedule. It might be posted up already, but if it's not, it will be posted soon. We personally are going to be casting the Division 2 finals on Saturday at, I believe, noon Pacific, 2 Central Time. So that's going to be a ton of fun. We've been following a lot of the Division 2 games this season. So it was kind of fun to finally have a Pro League game that landed on our casting night, but we're super excited to get the Division 2 finals going and see who ends up on top of that. But
Yeah.